Hey guys, Austin here with Bourboneering YouTube channel. Today I'm bringing you another distillery highlight, more of a distillery flight today. Let's get started. So you've seen me talk about Blue Note bourbon, and you've seen me talk about BR Distilling. In fact, I have a podcast episode with one of the owners, Macaulay Williams from Blue Note, or from BR Distilling, Big River Distilling in Memphis. Great company, they make great whiskey. You already know that. I've tried their juke joint on the podcast before, as well as a single barrel version of their regular Blue Note bourbon. But today I have 4 pours of their bourbon that I'm going to try and talk about each bottle, give a review of each, a semi-in-depth, relatively quick review of each. But I'm not comparing them, I'm not moving them around because they are all very different proofs, very different ages. I might compare, like I have a single barrel here, I might compare that with the original, but we'll see how that goes. Alright, so let's get started with their cheapest in the lineup and most readily available. This is Blue Note Juke Joint Whiskey. It is, make sure I get this right, straight bourbon, yes, it's 93 proof, unfiltered, crafted in Memphis. It is distilled in Kentucky and bottled by BR Distilling. So all these, I believe, are sourced. This one definitely is. They're a young company, they're doing great stuff though, so they're very, very transparent about that. So I already have this poured, as you can see. I'm going to read you the back just because I want to be in depth as possible. Blue Notes were born in the 1920s on the streets of Memphis in juke joints, and they have since found their way to almost every other form of music. You feel Blue Note almost as much as you hear one. They are twangy notes. It's the interesting notes in jazz and other types of music, and Memphis is known for its blues, so juke joint, perfect name. I love their labels, I love their names, if you can see that pretty well. Again, I can't say enough about good stuff about this distillery. This price is right around, I believe, $23 to $25. Great entry level for their lineup in price. On the nose, a little medicinal. And then there's that funky corn. It's definitely corn forward. A little musty, like grain corn. It doesn't smell too young though. A little cereally, a little vitamin-like. Just strange because this is from Kentucky. It's not their other sourcing source, I guess. Alright, give it a taste. Well, first I'm gonna give you a score. Nose. It's interesting for the price. It's not. You have to kind of go searching for some notes, other than just corn and a little bit of caramel. I'm gonna give it a 2.75. It's a great nose, nothing bad about it, but it's just above average. Let's give it a taste. Get a sweet tea note, almost so much like an Eagle Rare. A lot more punch there than in the nose, for sure. It's delicious. You know what? I'm working on this as we go. I'm just going to give an overall rating because I don't want to go get a calculator average out. So I'm just going to give, out of my mind, overall rating. I'm still going to consider my 3 nose, taste, and value, but I'm just going to give you an overall rating here. Taste, a little fruity here, in fact. Get a little fruit notes. It's not quite that 100 proof that I like for a cocktail, but I think this will stick out in a cocktail very well, an old fashioned or even more. It can be more bourbon forward. It's a good enough bourbon to be in a bourbon forward cocktail, rather than just sit in the back of like a whiskey and coke. Great stuff. Great entry proof bourbon right here. I've already talked about the value. It's like $23 to $25, maybe $30 max if you get it online and get it ordered. Great price. High value score. That's why I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5. Yep. Because nose is average, just above average. Taste shoots well above its proof point, and the price is just fantastic for what it is. So I'm gonna give it overall 3.5. Fantastic bourbon. See these big pours that I'm not finishing? I will be finishing these after the video, I promise. Alright, move on to number 2. This is going to be their regular 9-year Blue Note Bourbon release. Unfiltered, crafted in Memphis. This is also 93 proof, just like the Juke Joint. If I'm not mistaken, distilled in Tennessee and bottled by BRD. Yeah, so it's distilled in Tennessee, bottled by them. So it's sourced. I have an idea of where it could be, but they don't want to share it, so I'm not going to share it. Let's just say it's a common Tennessee distillery. And this is a lot more reminiscent of that kind of sourcing location. Kind of like a rich, musty corn with a, again, I mentioned earlier, but a little vitamin like peanut butter maybe, nuttiness. Not peanut butter, but peanut. The dry roasted peanut. Great. It's the nose stands out. It's the same proof as the Juke Joint. The nose stands out just a little bit more. Still a fantastic nose. Sweet, nutty, peanut butter, buttery, kind of a, definitely get that oily mouthfeel. Than it be not being chill filtered. It's a lot more flavor than the Juke Joint. Love the Juke Joint, but this is way more flavor here. Same proof. A lot more layers. Almost like a natural peanut butter that's not quite as sweet on that back end, but still has like a cinnamon maybe, or a I don't know, like a little bit of floral note maybe, perfumey kind of Four Roses like sensation on the tongue. Fantastic. The value, this is up around in the mid 50s dollar range, so it's going to be a little bit lower in the value than the Juke Joint, but not quite. It's still really good for the price. I'm going to give this overall, I'm going to give it just a little bit low. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Well above average. Fantastic. The real difference here is that value. This, without considering value, night and day better than the Juke Joint. But the Juke Joint is just such a great value in my opinion. It just boosts it up just a little bit higher in a score than the regular release. Like I said, completely different sources, different ages, same proof, but 9. This is 9. This is, I would guess, around 4 to 5, because it's not age dated and straight, so it's got to be at least 4. But all right, so let me get some water. And you got a real interesting one coming up next. All right. So I'm gonna talk about the one on the very end here, because it kind of goes along with this. The one on the very end here is a single barrel pick of the regular Blue Note. So same sourcing. Macaulay talked about a little bit how they have, I believe, 2 different mash bills from this source that they kind of blend together to find the perfect ratio to get a consistent product out of the 9-year. Whereas the single barrels are obviously a single barrel of whatever you're picking, so it could be 1 or 2 recipes. This barrel happens to be 14 years old, and I'm saving it for last because it is as much higher proof than the rest of these 3, and I don't want to blow up my palate. So we're going to read that last. I just wanted to talk about it real quick. This one is a little more similar to these 2. So, but I'm going to go to order proof, so we're going to tell the fun story of this bottle. Now this is not Blue Note. It's BR Distilling, still bigger Distilling, it's still a bourbon. This is a 12-year-old straight bourbon whiskey called Old Romulus. Now, I was in Memphis, as of my recording, I was in Memphis yesterday to pick this up. And it's actually a signed bottle, if you can see. I went to a store called Buster's Liquors and Wine in Memphis. Now, the 2 founders of Buster's are their brothers, Buster Hammond and Rami Hammond. Rami's full name is Romulus. And this is actually a brand created by BR Distilling for them. This is their own brand from BR Distilling. Very, very interesting. So Old Romulus is Rami, one of the founders. Signed by him. This is barrel number 1, bottle number 16. So I don't know how many bottles in that barrel, but it's cask strength. This is 104 proof compared to these two, which are 94, and I think this was 114. But barrel strength at 104 proof. So I'm assuming it being 12-year-old and BR not being 12 years old as a company, that this is sourced from the same place as this. So we'll see. But I thought it was really cool to have their own brand. That store has their own brand made by BR. I'm very excited. I actually reached out to Macaulay today to get some more info, and that's what he shared with me. So, without further ado, here we go. Whoa. Hold, please. This one, that 104 proof, kicks up the volume on the nose. And I'm not talking about alcohol, although there's a little bit of that. This reminds me straight up of Smoke Wagon. This might be MGP. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I've not been confirmed, which would not be the same source as these two different ones. This to me. Hold on. This is interesting. This is live, folks. Not really live, but I have a bottle of Smoke Wagon uncut here. Okay, I'm sorry. Y'all, I know this is not a great video, but I'm very curious now. This Smoke Wagon I know is not 12 years old. It's a little dusty with glass, let's see. Straight bourbon, 50% alcohol. Oh crap, this is small batch, this isn't uncut, my bad. Grabbed the wrong one, but it'll work. Very similar noses here. Very, very similar. Yeah, that taste. I wouldn't call it exactly like Smoke Wagon. Okay, hold on. It's kind of turning into more of that Tennessee distillery. But, man, that nose does not align with what I think it would be. Let's see. This could be in GP. I don't know. And I don't know if I'll find out. Maybe I'll find some research later. But I think this is a different source than the rest of it. Anyway, it's fantastic. Let me give you some notes. I'm sorry. Let me get some water and give you some notes. Going through a little discoveries here. Pull up my notes here. Okay. Alright. Sweet, very caramel, a little bit of fruit, like stone fruit type deal. A lot more fruity than the rest of the other taste. Not very nutty, although there's a little bit of that kind of dry peanut taste in the back. Very confusing. Very sweet, very fruity. I love that. That's getting a 4. That's fantastic whiskey. I'm sorry I'm speeding up here. I'm running out of time. I got one more to get to. This is a 4. It is fantastic. You can get up to Buster's, grab some for sure. Waste too much time. Gotta get to my. This is a Blue Note bourbon picked from Caesars, which is 14 years old and 115 proof. Again, same as this, just a barrel pick of it. Oh. Very Flintstone vitamin-like. A lot more than this. Oh man. Interesting. Sweet, nutty Flintstone gummies. Straight up. It's a common note from a certain sourcing location. Flintstone gummy vitamins. Okay. I'm going to stop that right there. It's not a bad note. A lot of people love it. I just associate it with vitamins, and it's just kind of an ill thing to me. So, I'm going to finish back on this Romulus. Let's see. Notice I wasn't going to rank them, but this Romulus wins. Y'all, BR Distilling, Blue Note, great bourbon all the way through. Even this that I'm kind of iffy about on this pick, it's great bourbon. Give it a shot if you can. Start here and work your way up. It's fantastic. Thanks for watching, y'all. Cheers.